Hey guys, this is Joe Tech here, doing a review on a Toyota Prius 3, 2013 Prius 3 with solar roof and sunroof, as you can see above me. I just got this about a month ago. So I'm driving here. The absolute, in terms of efficiency of the vehicle, it's hands down the best vehicle I've ever purchased. A lot of people aren't aware. I'm going to tell you all the ins and outs of the Prius and driving ability and what it could do, and pretty much in this quick review. I don't want to make it a very long, lengthy review. I want to get right to the bullet points of the car, and that's that. It does get the miles per gallon that it says it does. It says it does 50 combined. It does 51 city and 48 highway. Those numbers are way off in terms of they're substantially higher. On average, and I'm not pulling your leg here at all, on average I get about, when I'm doing 60 miles an hour, and believe it or not, you want, even if you speed in the car, not like speed, but at 60 miles an hour, and if you do a long run, I get like 57 miles to the gallon, and that's continuous. Like that's going 60 miles an hour, I'm going 50, 60, 70 miles long as a trip. You will achieve guaranteed 57 miles to the gallon, hands down. Obviously the temperature makes a difference. If it's colder or colder outside, supposedly it gets less miles to the gallon. However, when you're sitting at a light, the engine is off. You have 4 modes in the car. You have EV, Eco, and Power, and then Normal. Normal is no buttons are depressed and nothing is displayed on the dashboard. You have nothing in front of you. Of course, everything is to the center of the car. Keeps you focused on driving, and you just have to glance down slightly to look at your speed. It's very, very nice. I can't express this enough. Literally, sitting at a light, the engine is off. You're on electric mode. This is not the plug-in Prius. The plug-in Prius has a larger battery, I believe a 4,400 kilowatt battery. The normal Prius, I think, has either a 1,300 or 1,400 kilowatt battery. However, when you're driving, you could drive in purely electric mode up to 24 miles an hour. You hit the EV mode, and when you're in bumper-to-bumper traffic, you can hit the gas a little harder than normal, because you normally, if you drive in a normal mode or eco mode or power mode, as soon as you pass a certain point, there's a little divider for electric mode only, and then eco mode, and then power mode. The car has when you're in electric mode, you can actually pass that 50% bar, and you'll still be in electric mode until you achieve 26 miles an hour. Then the gasoline engine kicks in, and you're out of EV mode. However, when you're driving in eco mode and you're driving it nice and easy, if you don't put it past the center line, you could drive up to 44 miles an hour in electric mode only, which is pretty sweet. So they call that hypermiling. So the whole idea is to drive as long as you can in electric mode, and that's how you get your miles per gallon up higher, because now you're doing hopefully 1 or 2 miles within your trip on purely electric, and that's how your miles per gallon goes up. People say it's a very noisy ride. I had a Volkswagen Passat. I really don't see any difference between the interior noise of that car and that car was pretty tight, and this car. Handling of this car out the door with no add-ons is pretty darn impressive. And another thing, what people do not realize, and I'm going to say this to you guys, the speed of the car is incredible. When you take it out of the eco mode and you pop it in power mode, the car is a rocket ship. People don't realize it is a fast car. Remember, you have gasoline and you have electric at the same time, so that's the torque on electric motor is far superior than any torque on any gasoline engine you can think of. So the propulsion is combined together and is very, very fast. So don't think the car is slow just because you see a Prius. People are trying to get as much miles to the gallon as they possibly can. I get around 550 miles per tank, approximately. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but I've been averaging around 550. I can get almost 600 depending on if I start doing more hypermiling, which is huge. But what people have been focusing on, they're focusing on accelerating quickly, backing off on the gas, and then trying to maintain your 40 miles an hour if that's what you're trying to do if you're doing city driving. Highway driving, I set the cruise control. Some people say don't do that. You just drive like you normally drive without cruise control, but believe it or not, I let cruise control do all the work, and it actually works better than me trying to, up a hill, down a hill. I get 57, guaranteed 57 miles to the gallon on a long trip. Even a short trip, but when you're bouncing around in town, the best I've ever gotten, the absolute best I've ever gotten is 63.3 miles per gallon on a trip that was like 17 miles. But I was really focusing on trying to get the best miles per gallon possible. And that was really, that's monitoring and watching, so driving and looking at my gas pedal depression, making sure that I'm like in the proper means of everything. So if you're looking for a Prius and you're 6 feet, you will fit in this car. 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", you will fit. Even if you're a little heavier, like larger guy, you will fit in here. It's a must-have car if you're interested in saving the environment, or you're just a techie guy and you like bells and whistles. My God, this guy just pulled right out in front of me. If you like bells and whistles, this has navigation. This has got I got a solar roof. Let me explain that to you. A lot of people aren't aware. Like, the solar panel does not do anything to charging the batteries, period. However, what it does do, and this is the reason why I got it. I have to have a sunroof because my old car had a sunroof and I need to have it. And it does have a sunshade, so you can close it. So it's nice. I like to have it open on a nice sunny day. It makes, it's nice. I just got blinded by looking at the sun. The solar roof powers a ventilation system in the car when the car is off for more than 10 minutes. So it doesn't kick in right away. So if you shut the car off, you're wondering why it's not working, and the button's in and everything, there's a special way of turning it on. You have to have the power on, and then you press the button, and then it's engaged. I leave it on all the time. It doesn't pay to shut it off, but it does work. It works very, very well. I've gotten in the car and the fan is like blaring all by itself, not using any electrical power whatsoever, only from the solar, from the sun, which is great. And what it does, it ventilates the interior cabin temperature to match the exterior temperature. So if it's 90 degrees outside, it's 90 degrees inside, versus going into a car that feels like you're in a sauna, like 120, 160 degree car, which is nice. Who wants to go into a car that's like? But however, if you want to get a sunroof, you automatically get the solar roof. Is it worth it? Absolutely. I don't get into a hot car anymore. Plus, it's cool. Come on. Everybody wants, high-tech stuff in their car. This is one way of getting it. So, if you're interested in the Prius 3, or any Prius for that matter, because you don't need probably all the bells and whistles, it constantly monitors your miles per gallon and how much you did for the trip. I just did a trip to Walmart. I think it's like 10 miles round trip or 12 miles round trip. I will let you know how much money you can enter in the amount of money per gallon when you go to fill up. So then the system can calculate how much money it costs to drive to a particular location. That's cool. I like that. That's a really cool feature. So it also tells you your average miles per gallon consumption during a trip. It has two trip computers, trip A and trip B, and then the overall, the odometer reading. Trip A tells you how many miles you've driven, the consumption for that particular trip, and your average miles per hour. The second trip is the total of the entire tank. Like right now, I'm getting 49.8 miles to the gallon for the entire tank of the car, and I've driven 137 miles so far, and I have like more than 3/4 of a tank left, so I got plenty of fuel. This, I mean, it says I can drive another 415 miles on my current tank at the moment. I mean, driving the way I'm driving. However, that'll go up as my driving, instead of going, driving city and stuff, it'll actually increase. So, hopefully this review is good for you and you like it. Please, vote on how you like it, dislike it. Just a basic review, nothing fancy. I just got the car. It's awesome. If you live on Long Island, then you might want to check out Competition Toyota in Middle Island. They gave me a great deal. Tell them Joe sent you. He bought a silver Prius, and they'll know. There's a woman there. I forgot her name. She was really, really wonderful. Anyway, get the Prius. You'll love it. I will do another review shortly. Have a great day. Bye-bye. I'm traveling 60 miles an hour. This is what the engine and battery and electric motor does at 60 miles an hour, going uphill and downhill. What you see there is Trip A computer. I've driven 57, or actually 58 miles so far on this trip. I'm consuming 55, or achieving 55.1 miles to the gallon, and my average speed is 36. Been in stop-and-go traffic, and now I'm on the highway. My overall tank, I'm ready to fill up actually. I'm on E, just about E, and I've driven 455 miles on this tank, and overall I've achieved 50.9 miles to the gallon, and my average speed for the entire tank is 30 miles an hour. And I've driven, and I have 39 miles to empty, but we know it's actually more than that. And I've driven 2,015 miles. The graph that you see here, you got the battery. Well, first you got the shifter thing and the shifter thingamajiggy, which shows reverse, park, neutral, drive, and brake. You really can't see the other letters because it's blocked by the display. But what you see here is you have a bar graph. You have charge. If I hit the brakes, or if the car coasts, it'll start to charge the batteries again. Then if it stays below that line that you see there, is actually running on electric, or it tries to, and then it's in this mode, it's in the eco mode. Traveling 60 miles an hour, it's not going to be 100% electric. It's impossible with the hybrid non-plug-in version. However, when you're in eco mode, it tends to run substantially better with the car and performance in miles per gallon of 55.7 right now on this trip. It'll increase, it says it going up, 55.8. So at 60 miles an hour, this gets very, very good gas mileage. If I did 55 miles an hour, which is ridiculously slow, but that's the speed limit, I would even achieve better, about 62 miles to the gallon. So the EPA rating in this car is definitely way off in terms of EPA rating. It says 50 overall, 51 city, 48 highway. I'm clearly getting more than 48 highway. I'm on the highway now. Now I'm actually going uphill, slight hill. So it's pushing the engine a little bit harder. The miles per gallon will drop. I'm actually in the power band. If you notice, you got like kind of a greenish color, then a white color, and then a power, which is kind of a reddish color, or burgundy, and that goes into the power band. Once you go into the power band, it's not in the eco mode anymore, and the least amount of white that you see, the better gas mileage you will get. And when I go downhill, the car will actually start to coast slightly. Sees that there's no load on the engine, and it'll actually coast it or give very little fuel. Right now I'm on cruise control. It seems to run much better in cruise control. I mean, I guess I could hit the pedal and do it myself, but why? Let the car take over. It's doing very, very well at it. There's another meter over here that you don't see. I'll move over a little bit so you see it. It's the MPG meter on the left. It says 150 and 0. Now I'm actually coasting. So when you see it hit 100, that means it's on battery. And the engine is off. Or close to it. And yeah, now the engine's off. And I'm coasting. So I'm going downhill. That's how the MPG kicks in. Goes higher and higher and higher because of that, because of this feature. Very intelligent car, I have to say. And then when it needs gas, it'll start to drop, and then you can see the miles per gallon, not drop, but I mean 50 miles a gallon. I'll take 50 all the time. That's the reason why I got the car. I want a car that gets a minimum of 50 miles per gallon, and this car achieves it. It absolutely gets it. So I mean, that's real time. That meter on the left that says 150 0, that's real time.
Prepare to exit the highway in 2 miles.
I have my GPS on in the car. I can actually stop that. Navigation in this car is fantastic. What else should I tell you? The battery, as I said before, the battery, you can drive on electric up to 44 miles an hour on electric, 100% purely electric power, until the batteries are dead. 44 miles an hour. So it's only a 1300 kilowatt battery. So you probably achieve maybe a mile or two. A pure battery. The plug-in hybrid has a 4400 kilowatt battery, so it's literally 4 times as much. Plus the gearing and the MG1 and MG2 motors are a little bit bigger and geared. Actually, they may be the same size, but the gearing is different. So it allows it to achieve a much faster, highway speed. However, I'm very happy with a standard Prius. Does exactly what I need to do. I'm working on, this will be my 9th day without fueling up. I mean, I used to fuel up every 4 days. It's definitely worth its weight in gold. I mean, if you're going to get a Prius, this video should be the one that breaks the camel's back and says, you know what, I'm going to buy the freaking car. Because it definitely saves you money at the pump. I'm not at the gas station as often. Plus, gas is dropping. I live on Long Island. Gas is dropping. It's 355.9 as of October 3rd. I think it's October 3rd today. Let me see. It will be October 4th. It's October 3rd. It will be October 4th in about 10 minutes. 2013. October 4th, 2013. So anyway, Prius is the car to get if you're interested in buying a car. Like I said, it fits 6-foot people with no problem. 6'1", 6'2", heavier set, no issues whatsoever. I have a friend of mine who's a little bigger. He fits in here fine. He's never driven the car, but I'm a pretty big guy, and this fits me perfect. I like it. So take a look at the rest of the video.